What's up, guys? It's McNulty here, and it is Hero of the Month time. So we have a brand new Hero of the Month for December that we're going to have a look at today. We're going to give him a bit of a breakdown, see if he is going to be worth it as a bonus. I know loads of you are going to be summoning in the seasonal portal, and also in the other portals that we have going this month. So probably going to be getting your hands on Balur or Baller. Don't know how you want to pronounce that, but it's worth us having a look at him, make sure that we know what he does, and see if he's worth your hard-earned tokens or gems. So let's get right into it. So with Balur, he is a blue ice hero, obviously 5 stars. He is of the fighter class, so straight away he is of one of my favorite classes. So fighter class, he's going to be able to revive. It does give him a bit of survivability right off the bat. He's going to be part of the 2022 Legends family, and the family is still dormant. We've got another 29 days and 22 hours before we find out what the bonus is going to be for these new heroes. So let's hope, fingers crossed and thumbs held, that it's good. So he has 2 passives. He's got a resist attack ailment passive. So he has innate resistance against status ailments that do affect attack. There are quite a lot of those flying around, so that may well come in useful. And he's also got another passive, which is heal on bleed. So he regenerates 20 HP each time an enemy receives bleed damage. So he isn't a barbarian, so that means he's not going to be inflicting bleed damage. And you'll need to make sure that you've got somebody on your team who is a barbarian for there to be any effect on this secondary passive. So it is very situational, as is the other passive. So not a huge fan of the passives just yet. So Balur is, he's looking pretty beastly. He is like a little dwarven warrior, I guess. Looks like he's been in quite a heavy battle, but he's got his shield up and he's got his flail. So he's bruised but not broken, shall we say. So moving on to Balur's stats. We've got 772 attack, 764 defense, and 1423 health. Pretty decent stats, I'd say. He's seriously balanced across the board, so nothing too insane there. If we have a look at what he looks like, if you were to limit break and add full emblems, you can get up to 925 attack, 937 defense, and 1652 on the health. So pretty decent stats. So nothing to write home about, but also he's sort of right in the middle of what we're expecting from these new heroes and from the Hero of the Months, definitely. So moving on to his special, we've got Double Flail Mayhem is the special, and he's running at average speed. At average speed, he's dealing a 450% damage hit to the target, and the target receives 300 bleed damage over 3 turns. So right away, I've got to take back what I said about the passive, because that bleed damage is immediately going to trigger the passive. So he's going to regenerate 20 HP every time an enemy receives bleed damage. So he's hitting one target, he's inflicting the bleed damage on one target, so that's just going to be 1 times 20 every time after his special fires off that he'll receive. But if he hits more than one target and that bleed is on more than one person at the same time, I'm assuming that would be then 40 or 60 or 80 or 100 HP that he would receive, depending on how many enemies on the board actually have bleed damage. Be interesting to have a look and see how that works. Then the element link he gets gives all ice allies immunity to new fiends for 4 turns. So same as the other anti-fiend element link that we've been seeing for the last few heroes of the month, and this effect can't be dispelled. So what do we think of Balur? Personally, I'm not a huge fan. He is a good sniper. That's a good hard hit, 450% damage. The bleed damage at 300 bleed damage over 3 turns. We're looking at the highest stat here. If you go back to the original, without the emblems and limit breaks, it's 252 bleed damage over 3 turns. So about in the region of 100 bleed damage a turn if you increase it. Yeah, he's serviceable. He's all right. He is a good class. However, spoiler alert, I've had a look at the January hero of the month and what looks like to be one of the best heroes of the month that we've had in ages. So I think that if you are being super cautious about where you're spending your emblems and you think that the best chance you have is that you're going to get a hero of the month, I would probably hold off until January. And if you do pull this guy and you've got other options in blue, I do think that there are going to be better snipers, and definitely, there's better hit 3 and hit all heroes. So Balur, not a huge fan, mate. You do look pretty cool. You've sort of battled it out to get right up to the end of the year in December. They finally released you, and yeah, you're a bit underwhelming, mate. I'm so sorry to say. But yeah, if you do pull him and you don't have many other options, then, go ahead. But if you do, I'd think twice about leveling this guy. So I do wish you guys all of the best in your summons as always. Hopefully you managed to snag some of the other Christmas heroes. We've got an excellent blue hero in Tinsel. You already know my thoughts on her. But yeah, I wish you all the best. Please do like and subscribe and comment. And I'll see you all again in the next video.